This is a realistic bomber in LEGO Fortnite, and it can drop boom barrels on the enemy. It has rotating blades and steering system, and in this video, I'll show you how to make it. Now it's gonna crash into tower. Do not miss all the secrets of building. First, need to put 8 large foundation blocks in rows, and on them place 8 active platforms like this. Now let's clamp 1 active platform with foundations 5 and 1 to fix the base of the future bomber plane. The hull will be made of a long granite foundation. At the first stage, we will place it on the edges of the active platforms, each time making an indentation of 2 studs. Now we need to achieve a round shape. For this purpose, watch carefully how I put the long granite foundation and repeat everything exactly as I do. When making the next section, I simply magnetize the long foundation to the previous ones. Add 2 more pieces on each side. We'll install the remaining 6 sections using the same method. Simply magnetize the long granite foundations to each other as I show. Just in case I remind you that magnetization occurs when you press the right mouse button. The next important step is to subscribe to my channel, so you won't miss out on the new models and amazing designs. For instance, I've already demonstrated how to build a tank, an airplane, a helicopter, and much more. Now we'll make the nose of our bomber out of a small square foundation. I also make an indentation of 2 studs each time. The next sector is also set with an indentation of 2 studs to the center. Do the third sector in the same way. Now place 2 blocks with an indentation of 2 studs from the inside and put 2 blocks on them with an indentation of 1 more stud. The space 2 studs wide is filled with color-matched floor blocks. I installed them in such a way as to create a rounded shape. 2 Sugi Stairs 1 will act as front windows. We'll add the 12 and 8 stud width floors to make it look better. The only thing left to do is to fill the space on the edge under the stairs with color-matched floor blocks like I did. This is what the cockpit will look like. Now we move to the tail of the airplane. In the penultimate, that is the 7th section of the hull, will be installed a new steering system. With an offset of 1 stud from the center of the granite foundation block of the 7th active platform, we will put a floor with a length of 6 studs on each side. In the center of the 7th active platform will be a square with sides of 6 by 6 studs. It will just fit a large wheel. Now to the middle of the 6th granite foundation block from the bottom to the top, on each side we will magnetize and install 3 floors with a width of 2 studs. We'll add 1 more floor block 6 studs long and install 3 more of the same floor blocks from below. Now we'll take the floor again with a length of 8 studs and set it up like this. The result should be another 6 by 6 stud square, about 6 studs above the bottom square. We'll put 1 small foundation on the edge of the square, and on top of that, we'll put another foundation 1 stud closer to the center of the square. Install 3 more like this, and attach the small engines to them. I've installed 6, but I recommend adding a few more. On the bottom and top of this structure, we'll install the big wheels in the center. After breaking the joint, move the separated structure so that it takes its place. The control lever will be a 6-stud floor attached to the top of the lower foundation, and the activator will be attached to the floor. Now place a 12 by 12 stud floor on one side and 3 12 by 2 stud floors on the other side, which will allow you to control the ship simply by turning the control lever in the desired direction. At a distance of 14 studs from the end of the hull, we will place one large floor and to the right of it, 6 floors measuring 16 by 2 studs. Install small granite foundations at the top. From the bottom, with a ledge of 3 studs, place the long one foundation and the others around it. Small squares around the edges. With an offset of 1 stud from the edge of the large foundation, we will set 5 rustic railing corners, one on top of the other. And with a 2-stud spacing from the edge of the square, we'll install 5 more pieces. Do the same on the other side. We'll make the edges flat at the exit. I used fences, floors, and corners for this. This is purely for decorative purposes, so it can be done however you like. The main thing is not to go beyond the edges of the exit. Now, select the rustic railing corner again and place it so that it protrudes just a little bit over the edge of the exit. We magnetize 1 small square to the middle of the top and put another one on top of it with 1 stud protrusion. To this structure, we will attach a granite base 4 by 16 by 12 studs, installing small balloons, wheels, and engines on it. I installed 2 balloons, but it is better to install 6 pieces. Let's put the activator and destroy the connection. The structure should fall right into the enclosed space we made for it. This will be the rear door of the bomber. Now put 4 castle half walls 3 to the edge of the floor, and to the right of them 4 slanted castle half walls. We'll also put them on top. Now put 1 small foundation and 5 long granite foundations. And on top, we will place 2 slanted castle half walls. This structure will serve as a door opening stop. The door is ready, and for its opening, it is enough to turn on the activator. During the flight opening of the door, we will need to drop boom barrels on the enemy. Now put long granite foundations like this. Destroy 2 of them on each side of the second section. This is where the backup steering system will be installed. Put a large foundation in the center of the second section like this, and put 10 stud lengths of floors on top of the sides of the section. Do the same thing on the other side. At the bottom along the edges of the large foundation, we'll place 8 stud lengths of flooring, pressing them close to the wall. This leaves a gap of 4 studs in the middle. Add 2 more of the same floors on each side. We'll put 12 studs of flooring like this. Install the 2 remaining 10 stud floors. From the top and bottom, we have a 12 by 6 stud space on each side exactly above each other. In the center of the long foundation, we will place a small square with a projection of 1 stud toward us. On it, we will place a construction of 4 more such foundations. Install the small engines. I recommend installing more. Attach the activator. Now in the center of each edge, we're going to put the big wheels like this. Do the same thing at the bottom. Break the connection, and our construction should fall into the place prepared for it. Do the same on the other side. Due to their size and elasticity, the wheels are securely fixed in the prepared place, so that the independent blocks with motors remain in place and do not break. If the structure has fallen unevenly after breaking the joint, simply place a few blocks of any kind on the airplane body until the structure is in the correct position. The steering system stays firmly in place. Let's cover this place with 16 stud-length floors and foundations to make this place look good. Now demolish 2 granite foundations each on top of the 4th section. This is where the wings will be. Now install the roof from 3 color-matched large square floors and install the connections from the long floor. And we'll do it on the other side. On the elevation, we will also install a large floor. From this floor to the right and to the left, we will put 5 more of these blocks. To the bottom of the hole, we will attach 4 more of them to each side. And now let's add 5 more floors on each side to make the bottom and top of the wing the same length. Now on the middle of each edge, we'll install a floor of 8 stud lengths like this. To this, we'll attach a 16 stud floor, to which we'll add 3 more of these on top. We'll do the same at the bottom. Attach either side of the bottom so we can install the castle half wall 1. We'll make a screw mount out of it. Go beyond the previous wall by 2 studs. Go out 1 stud here. Now the wall goes back 1 stud. And here again on 2 studs. Let's put 2 castle half walls 5. At the back, we'll put castle half wall 1, just like in the front. It goes forward by 2 studs. Go forward by 1 stud. Moved back 1 stud. And this is 2 studs. We'll do the same thing on the second wing. If you've already figured out how to install this, you can go to 12 minutes and 42 seconds into this video to skip this installation on the second side. In the next step, we will install the blades inside, which will rotate and be activated by a command from the inside. By the way, I showed the placement of the blades in great detail in my helicopter video. These compounds are no longer needed and we can destroy them. Add a castle half wall 1 on each side like this. We'll install 5 floors of 6 by 2 studs, or 3 floors of 10 by 2 studs down the center. On the resulting plane, we'll put 4 more floors with 6 studs on each side so that we get a 6 by 6 stud hole in the center. Put a 16 stud floor here. Now put 3 floors on each side of the edges so that there is a space of 4 studs between them. Between these spaces, we will put plank railing 1 close to the walls, and on the edges we will put rustic railing corner. The same thing will be installed on the top, and in the end we will have a tunnel with a width and length of about 3 studs. Put a small foundation square exactly like mine, and exactly underneath it, but at the bottom put another one like this. If the blocks are installed correctly, you'll be able to attach the round pillar too. Let's destroy the bottom square. Now attach the big wheel to the bottom of the round log pillar 2. On top of the cylinder, attach 2 small square pillars so that it is in the middle, and to the top, attach a long foundation on each side. Put 4 small wheels on the bottom square. Let's break up the connecting square foundation. I'll lower the floor 1 level from the bottom so that the blades are more tightly held in place. Follow the sequence of operations. Now the blades are in place, and we can add a longer foundation and larger motors to provide rotation. Add add the activator, and now the blades are spinning. On the holder on the other side, we will also add castle half wall 1 on each side like this. This time, I'll start by installing a floor with a length of blocks on the edges. But all the steps are done as with the holder on the other side, just this time I'll make the floor lower. Now let's install the floor from the bottom. Next, I install the blades the same way as the first holder, so if you figured out how to do it, you can rewind the video to 16 minutes and 26 seconds. Let's tear down these floors that were installed to connect when we installed the blades. The front of the wing you can make any shape you want. I made it by installing 3 long floors in a row, adding a floor at the bottom with 1 stud forward, then a floor without a stud, and then installing a floor with 1 stud backward. And now we repeat this until we get to the beginning of the wing. Now we're going to have to use a floor that's 12 studs long. Let's close up the remaining holes. Repeat this with the second wing. I'm going to skip this process as it's no different. We'll add long floors to level the shape and move on to installing the stairs. To do this, make 2 rows of small foundations like this. Now let's put rustic stair 1. From the floor, we will make a bridge between the wings and enclose it with a fence for convenience. Now you can quickly move from the activator of one screw to the activator of the other. Castle Stairs 1 will do for the rear part of the wing. Fill the space with 2 long floors. Here we will put 2 floors with 10 studs each. Fill the remaining space with a floor 6 studs long. On the last and penultimate tier, you can place the floor horizontally to take up less space in the wing. Do the same on the second wing. The body of the bomber airplane is ready. This is what it looks like from the back. Now we can turn on both propellers and see how it looks. You can place about 55 large balloons on top of the airplane and it will fly. But if you are willing to spend a little more time, you can make it even prettier by placing small balloons inside the hull. To do this, we will destroy the bottom of the wings and make it 1 level lower. As a result, the big floor is set a little lower than it was before. The same is done on the other side. Now we can place the small balloons inside the wing. Place them in a row from one side of the wing to the other. You can place them in any way you like. The main thing is to leave room for a passage from the propeller on one side to the propeller on the other side. We will install balloons at the end, middle, and beginning of the hull. If they are placed at the edges, they will not obstruct the passage. At this stage, I have installed a total of about 130 balloons in the wings and in the hull. For beauty and flight stabilization, we'll install them here too. Now let's install the engines. Any number and size can be used. Activator of the main engines. Now we can install either about 30 large balloons on top of the bomber or about 150 more small balloons inside the hull. If you choose the second option, I suggest you put as many small balloons as possible in the wings. Only after all the balloons have been placed can you destroy the foundation under the airplane, just in case you need to add large wheels to cushion the collisions with the ground. Those extra 4 balloons on the doors. We can now open and close the rear door by pressing the activator. Turn or fly backwards altogether by simply turning the steering system to the desired side, as well as turn at higher speeds by additionally activating the backup steering system. And by raising the rear door, we can throw boom barrels directly at the enemy or hostile mobs, and we will be completely safe. And now it's time for a little experiment. I don't recommend making any landing system for the airplane itself because it can very easily crash into rocks or trees when descending or ascending. To get to the plane in survival mode is best to make a small lifting mechanism from an active platform and a few balls on it, and to descend from the airplane with the help of wings. Thank you for watching this video to the end. I would appreciate your likes and subscriptions. See you in the next videos.